What's up, bitches? So anyone who's watched these reviews knows that since the first, we've had golden rules. Not many, but they're important. And, they're also not perfect. So they need a bit of revising. I'm going to do a little adding. And then, with reviews going forward, we'll see what happens. What else gets added? But for now, I just want like a solid foundation to start on. So we're going to do a refinement of the old golden rules plus the new ones. Here we go. Now, you might remember, way back in the day, very first review, Far Cry 2 had Golden Rule number 1. Golden Rule number 1. All games should have level editors. Yeah. No. Kinda had my head up my butt with that one. Stick up my butt. Maybe it was just the time, the 2008, I don't even think Little Big Planet was out yet, maybe, when I did that. I don't know. And shit. Look today, we've had like 3 Little Big Planets, Mario Maker, even games like fucking Infamous 2, of all games, had like a level editor. There's actually a lot of level editors now. We've had several Smash Brothers with level editors. There's, it's actually pretty decent. And saying all games, really, all games need level editors. Does Street Fighter 2 need a level editor? Is it just harping for a fucking level editor? Yeah, so let's pull that stick out our butts. We're gonna make a revision, and this is the new, shiny, expensive, now with 100% less stick. Golden rule number 1: if you can have a level editor, have a level editor. You don't have to have one. All games, that's kind of an absolute. It's a little ugh. But if you can have a level editor, have a level editor. Smash Brothers, good. Mario Maker, good. These are good. If you can do it, do it. Okay, moving on. The only other one, there were only 2. There were only 2 of these bitches. And the other one, the old golden rule number 2. Golden rule number 2. If my Ness can do it, so can you. And you know what? That's a good rule. I'm not going to change that by default. So, here we go. Golden rule number 2. If my Ness can do it, so can you. But I'm not going to leave it there, because the purpose of this expands a bit more in functionality that the Ness maybe couldn't do. So expanding on that, we got some little brothers and sisters for golden rule number 2 here. Golden rule number 2.1. If my SNES can do it, so can you. I think you see where we're going with this. Golden rule number 2.2. If my N64 can do it, so can you. We've already got some functionality the NES and the SNES did not have, so that warrants 1 extra point. But almost there, not done yet. I think some of you can guess what's next. Golden rule number 2.3. If my Wii can do it, so can you. So, okay, that's all the 2 point whatevers. But that's all just been like, revisions and additions. We are adding 1 new rule. It's not even my rule, really. It's just so important that it belongs here. But I don't even take credit for this one. I'm just calling it a golden rule. Golden rule number 3. It's a profit deal. So saith Michael Pachter.
This is the first time I've ever done a show with you, and I haven't had a drink yet today. Okay. So that's not going to be a problem tomorrow night.
For those who don't know, Michael Pachter works for Wedbush. He's been analyzing and following and being paid to talk about the video games market and stocks, etc. for a long time. And something he's been saying for 10 plus years as like the answer to a third of any question he's been asked in that time is, it's a profit deal. And there's a reason he says that all the time. Because it's a fucking profit deal. Now, I can already hear some people's blood boiling, and so don't other nine the shit. Don't put words in my mouth. All I said was, it's a profit deal. I did not say that X business practices are okay because it's a profit deal. I did not say that this or that or the other skeevy modern, loot boxy things we like to complain about shit is okay. Didn't say that. All saying it's a profit deal means is that we recognize it's a business. Patreon, bitches.
Message.
And that's okay. It does not excuse bad business practices. But it also, doesn't mean that we expect everyone who works in this industry to just altruistically create the exact art you want while throwing money into the wind because, food and electricity cost money. Did I mention the Patreon's up and there's a link down there? Did I mention that? I don't know if I mentioned that.
Message.
You see this? You see this? You see this? You know how these things got made? These things you like, they got made because they made money. Because it's a fucking profit deal. And when you try and unweave that shit and pretend it should be wholly separate, you end up with a bunch of shitty free indie games that no one wants to play.
Is that something you would maybe also check out, download?
Oh,
but
sure. Yeah, no, yeah.
And so if you like these things and you want more of these things, then, buy these things. Did I mention the Patreon was up? I don't know. I forget.
Message!
All right, so that was a good revision, refinement. So going forward, I'm sure there'll be more, but we understand where we're at. These are the rules. Okay, bitches. Peace, bitches.